So remember that Chuck Schumer, Senate Minority Leader, and Hakeem Jeffries wrote a sternly worded letter to Donald demanding a meeting. Why? Well, because Schumer is desperate to avoid a government shutdown he believes he would be blamed for, which is absurd and embarrassing. Guess what? Donald has no intention of meeting with them. And he wrote this on his failing social media platform, quote, after reviewing the details of the unserious and ridiculous demands being made by the minority radical left Democrats in return for their votes to keep our thriving country open, I've decided that no meeting with their congressional leaders could possibly be productive. I look forward to meeting with you when you become realistic about the things our country stands for. And then after that little rant, he claimed that I'll leave it to you to decide whether or not this is true or false. The Democrats are threatening to shut down the government of the United States over things like, quote, dead people on the Medicaid rolls, unquote, and this is going to be hard for you to determine if it's true or not, quote, transgender operations for everybody, unquote. That is the person Schumer and Jeffries are willing to give up their leverage for. They have one opportunity here. They had the same opportunity a few months ago, which they squandered. They have an opportunity here to do a couple of things. One, prove to Democrats who are desperate for leaders willing to fight for them that they can be the kind of leader. Two, demonstrate to the American people that the Democrats who still believe in democracy, who still believe in our Constitution, will never make common cause with fascists. So, Senator Schumer, Leader Jeffries, that is not a very high bar. Here's hoping you can clear it. Let's dive in. Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's episode of Mary Trump Live. It is great to have you here. Let's start with what's clearly the biggest news of the day. Donald's, I think embarrassing is clearly not not a strong enough word. Deeply humiliating address at the UN. It was very long. It was 4 times longer than the time he was allotted. And it was completely off the rails. Now, I know we say that time and time again, but in this case, it was truly more unhinged than his other remarks, even the quite fascistic remarks he gave at the Charlie Kirk Memorial over the weekend. And literally in watching it, and luckily we've got clips for you, so you don't have to watch the whole thing. It's not only that I could feel my brain cells jumping out of my head. It's that I could feel the standing and credibility of the United States plummeting before my very eyes. Now, before Donald reached the podium and started lying, he was, as is his wont, able to muster the poise and equanimity, I guess would be a word, to execute a graceful and quite frankly dignified entrance.
Bring in. Are you going to push Zelensky for peace? What's your message? Are you going to push Zelensky for peace?
President Trump, what happened with Chuck Schumer?
Are you going to push Zelensky for peace, President Trump?
President Trump, why did you cancel the meeting with Chuck Schumer?
What is it with him and escalators? Well, at least they finally turned on him. He's probably like, oh my God, I have to walk upstairs. Anyway, he made it. And he kicked things off by having his teleprompter short out on him, which he handled very well. And then, of course, he told many, many, in some cases, dangerous lies. And in other cases, said things that were entirely nonsensical. So I want you to watch this off the wall tangent about the environment.
You know, it's interesting. In the United States, we have still radicalized environmentalists, and they want the factories to stop. Everything should stop. No more cows. We don't want cows anymore. I guess they want to kill all the cows. They want to do things that are just unbelievable, and you have it too. But you know, we have a border, strong, and we have a shape, and that shape doesn't just go straight up. That shape is amorphous when it comes to the atmosphere. And if we had the most clean air, and I think we do, we have very clean air. We have the cleanest air we've had in many, many years. But the problem is that other countries, like China, which has air that's a little bit rough, it blows. And no matter what you're doing down here, the air up here tends to get very dirty because it comes in from other countries.
Does it really? All right. If you can tell me what he meant to say, please share. Now, the question is, will corporate media sane wash him? That's the phrase now, sane wash him. And tell us what they think he meant to say, as opposed to what he actually said, which was either a defamatory or completely incomprehensible. I believe in the environment. I believe in protecting the environment. I actually love cows. I don't want to kill all of the cows. However, because I'm not an idiot, I understand that one of our biggest problems is deforestation, which is motivated by people's desire for more meat. So we probably have more cows on the planet than we have room for. And we need to do something about that. Not euthanize them. Also, like, I'm not entirely sure how somebody who eats 17 Big Macs a day can say that he has a problem with killing cows. I have a problem with killing cows. I'm a vegetarian. However, we cannot destroy rainforests to have more cows to make Big Macs for people like Donald. So sure, that's a solution that we need to come up with. But the outrageous idea that radical environmentalists, basically people who don't want our air and water polluted, people who actually believe that climate change is something we must combat, want to murder all the cows is that's taking it a bit far. I would respond to the rest of what he said, but I didn't understand a word of it. Then here is a clip in which Donald offhandedly threatened murder against people who enter our country illegally.
Our message is very simple. If you come illegally into the United States, you're going to jail, or you're going back to where you came from, or perhaps even further than that. You know what that means?
Do we know what that means? I'm guessing he meant hell. But that seems a bit of an escalation. Also, just in case you're not aware, my great grandfather and great grandmother, Donald's grandparents, were immigrants. My grandmother, Donald's mother, was an immigrant. Oh, yeah. And 2 out of 3 of his wives were immigrants. Both my Aunt Marianne and my dad were anchor babies. It is not enough to say that this person is an embarrassment. He's a dangerous, unhinged, unqualified, ignorant, bizarre demagogue who offers nothing. And the fact that he is leading the most powerful country on the planet down a path in which things like climate change are is considered a hoax, and the punishment for crossing a border is death, well, that's a problem. And the Republicans in Congress could do something about it if only they cared. Donald then threw a tantrum on Truth Social, which I spoke about at the top of the show, basically lying again about what Democrats are trying to do, canceling a meeting with the leadership as the shutdown looms. Just to put this in context, the Republicans control the government. They control the executive branch. They control both houses of Congress. They control the Supreme Court and much of the judiciary. So while claiming that it would be a waste of time to meet with Democratic leadership, he also said that Democrats, in addition to the taxpayer-funded transgender surgery, et cetera, were also advocating for high taxes, open borders, no consequences for violent crimes, men and women's sports, and more. All of that untrue. It's just that Democrats don't hate people. I guess that might be the problem. So again, the point of this meeting, and I fault Jeffries and Schumer for having wanted to set it up in the first place, was to avert a shutdown on October 1st. This is what Donald does not seem to understand. He needs 7 Democrats to vote on this funding bill. Republicans currently only have 53 of the needed 60 votes. So Democrats, who are deeply misguided, still think that they should try to negotiate with Republicans, including Donald, to keep the government open. Funding, one of the reasons is because funding to extend Obamacare subsidies is set to expire at the end of the year. That's one issue on the table. And apparently, Democrats think that it's worth conceding another inch to the fascists. It's worth it, even though much worse will happen if Democrats allow the Republicans to keep the government open on their terms. So what is it with the 60 vote thing? Just a quick primer on this issue. There's the filibuster. It's absurd. In order to get the bill to the floor for a vote, 60 people have to say, okay, let's allow this bill on the floor for a vote. If they get 60 votes, then the bill goes to the floor for the vote, and only 50 people or 51 people, depending, have to vote for it. I mean, it's absurd, because if you can't get 60 people to agree to vote on the bill, then the bill has been killed. So welcome to the Senate, one of the most undemocratic institutions in our alleged democracy. Donald doesn't seem to understand this. That's the point here. He doesn't seem to understand that he needs 7 Democrats on board in order for his funding bill to get a vote in the Senate. So Jeffries, in response to Donald's canceling the meeting, wrote, quote, Donald always chickens out. Donald just canceled a high-stakes meeting in the Oval Office with myself and Leader Schumer. The extremists want to shut down the government because they're unwilling to address the Republican healthcare crisis that is devastating America. Wow. That, my friends, is what they call a self-own. Extremists want to shut down the government? So what happens if Democrats stand strong and refuse to vote to allow what they call cloture, getting the bill on the floor for a straight up and down vote? Are Democrats extremists? Because you know that the Republicans will try everything in their power to blame a shutdown on Democrats. So does that mean that Democrats are extremists? You guys should be better at this by now. Get your mess straight. You are essentially continuing to make common cause with fascists because you are afraid of being blamed for something that would be the fault of the party in power. Figure out how to message it. You just gave them an opportunity to call you extremists if you don't vote for a funding bill that will be antithetical to the well-being of the American people. I'm like running out of things to say at this point about our failed Democratic leadership. So there is some good news. Tonight, Jimmy Kimmel's show will return to the air. That's a week after his program was put on indefinite hold because of comments he made about the Republicans' response to Charlie Kirk's murderer and the alleged shooter. So, on the one hand, Kimmel's return signals that Disney did yield to public pressure. Many viewers remain unable to watch because major broadcasters are continuing their boycott, which is problematic. Here's CBS News with more.
Jimmy Kimmel Live returns to late night tonight, but millions of people still will not be able to see it. Nexstar and Sinclair, which together control about a quarter of all ABC affiliates, say they will not air the show after Disney reversed its decision to bench Kimmel. The suspension has prompted protests, boycotts, and debates over free speech across the country. Talk about why these affiliate stations aren't obligated to broadcast what the network is airing and who holds the ultimate authority here.
It's actually a bit of a debate. The broadcast affiliates have the right in some circumstances to say they don't want to carry a particular piece of programming, usually because they feel that it somehow offends their community standards. That's different than saying on an ongoing basis, we're not going to take ABC programming. They more or less have a contract that says, we have this license, we're going to work with ABC, we are going to show what ABC shows us. Brendan Carr, who runs the FCC, has been pushing local broadcasters to push back against the folks like Disney. So a lot of this is sort of up for debate. Right now, it seems like we just had this detente where, for now, Nexstar and Sinclair are just simply not going to show the Kimmel Show, and I don't know that Disney is going to do anything about that.
Great. We have some serious problems with corporate media in this country. Essentially, outfits like Sinclair are holding us hostage. They are making sure that anybody within their orbit remains ignorant, ill-informed, disinformed, and propagandized. So you might be asking, what exactly does Donald have on these companies that's making them continue to bend the knee? Well, as usual with him, you just have to follow the money. Benjamin Mullen at the New York Times reports that for Nexstar, the favor of the Trump regime is particularly crucial because the company is trying to close a $6.2 billion merger with another TV station owner, Tegna, which requires the FCC's approval. Nexstar has said that it did not run its decision to preempt Kimmel's show by the FCC. I highly doubt that, by the way, because Brendan Carr is completely in the tank for all of this. So I'm skeptical. These companies have no principles. They have no journalistic principles. They have no interest in making sure that the information their viewers consume is accurate, valid, verifiable. All they want is to gain favor by doing Donald Trump's bidding. Because if there's one thing we know about Donald, that he's for sale, and he always has been, not even to the highest bidder, just to anybody who will throw money at him, because he is so greedy and so convinced, on a very deep level, of course, that he is worth nothing. And that the only way for him to have any worth, because he's a Trump and he grew up in that hideous family, is to have money. Unfortunately for him, though, it's never going to be enough. That's also unfortunate for us, too, because he will stop at nothing to accrue more wealth, and he will break whatever rules he can break. Oh, wait, sorry. I misspoke. He's not breaking any rules, according to the corrupt illegitimate supermajority of the Supreme Court. On to ICE now, one of my favorite topics. Just kidding. Under Donald's leadership, Immigration and Customs Enforcement continues to terrorize immigrants of color. In an investigation by CNN's Blake Ellis and others, it was discovered that over 100 US-born children had been left behind after their undocumented parents' arrests and deportations. These children are American citizens. They are, at least for the time being, protected under Section 1 of the 14th Amendment. That would be the birthright citizenship section of the 14th Amendment. There is no system in place to track and support minors who've been separated from their parents in this manner. Here's a clip from CNN's piece on this issue.
What happened to mommy?
I took him.
For more than a month, 6-year-old Febe, 9-year-old Angelo, and 14-year-old Isaac have been in Galveston, Texas, separated from the only parent they have. ICE arrested and deported their mother to Honduras. The siblings can explain they miss their mother. Why it's happened is what they don't understand.
Sa akin na heist, de immigration.
Immigration?
Do you know what that means? Did you guys get to say goodbye?
Yeah. Yes.
Don't too, dude.
Did mommy say something?
I love you.
Those were the last words they heard at home.
Who's okay with this? Who thinks that that is okay? Who thinks that that is a reasonable outcome for these cruel and indefensible policies that lead to children being separated from their parents? Did we learn nothing after Donald essentially kidnapped and incarcerated children during his first administration, while exiling their parents, leaving them essentially parentless? Yeah, well, here's the problem. There are tens of millions of Americans who either don't know about this or who really don't care, because people in the Trump regime, like Stephen Miller, have done such an expert job of convincing people that immigrants are not fully human. Donald himself has called them vermin. He's painted them as murderers, rapists, psychopaths, mentally ill people who are dangerous to our safety. So should we be surprised that far too many people are okay with this horror that is exactly what America is now? Meanwhile, ICE is continuing to round up people without respect for their rights to due process. The Department of Homeland Security released a statement calling for, quote, media and far left to stop the demonization of Donald, his supporters, and DHS law enforcement, unquote. Oh, really? Or what? The statement includes a bizarre gaslighting statement from Assistant DHS Secretary Tricia McLaughlin. Her statement reads, quote, following the evil act of political violence in the country this week and 2 brutal assaults on our brave ICE law enforcement last week, we are once again calling on the media and the far left to stop the hateful rhetoric directed at Donald, those who support him, and our brave law enforcement. This demonization is inspiring violence across the country. Our ICE officers are facing a more than 1,000% increase in assaults against them. We have to turn down the temperature before someone else is killed. This violence must end, unquote. Look in the fucking mirror. This violence must end. You're going to pick up the phone and tell Donald to tone it down? The Trump regime is all about keeping the temperature turned up. It's all about keeping things at a boil. It benefits them. It suits their purposes. If ICE agents don't want to be targeted, maybe they should stop targeting innocent people. Maybe they should start respecting people's rights to due process. Maybe they should stop covering up their faces so they cannot be identified. But what I say is not going to matter. This regime is going to continue to demonize anybody who voices dissent against them. They will continue to paint us as people who lack civility, who are responsible for stoking up hatred against others, all while they are the ones who lack basic human decency, empathy, compassion, all while they continue to terrorize other human beings for their own horrific ends. All right, it's time to breathe. I think it's Tuesday. All right. And we have reached our emotional support moment. It's a little different. Why, you ask? Well, because it's Fat Bear Week. What? Yeah. Each fall, Alaska's grizzly bears, grizzly bears, they bulk up, because they have to get ready for winter. And the Fat Bear Week competition lets lovers of bears crown the chubbiest contender. This contest turns hibernation prep into an internet showdown of size and stamina. So let's watch this report from NBC.
This morning, it's survival of the fattest at Alaska's Katmai National Park. Behemoth brown bears packing on the pounds ahead of hibernation season. And now they're battling it out for the title of brawniest Bruin in the popular online contest known as Fat Bear Week.
I have been waiting all year for this.
Last year, more than 1 million votes were cast from 100 countries. And for more than a decade, millions of diehard fans, including school classrooms, have been tuning in to the live cams at Katmai's Brooks Falls.
Fat Bear Week is the greatest thing that's ever happened to the internet.
Watching the park's 2,200 bears feasting on salmon and doubling in weight. Some males topping the scales at 1,500 pounds as they prepare for winter.
A fat bear is a healthy bear.
Park Ranger Sarah Bruce says thanks to extraordinary salmon numbers, this year the bears could be more rotund than ever.
They are eating as much as they can right now. They're in a state called hyperphagia, which it means that some of their hormones telling them that they're full turns off. So they don't feel full at all. They just keep eating and eating and eating.
From bears in Alaska to these lovebirds in California to the spring moose migration in Sweden, nature cams have become a hot ticket online. And with the big bracket reveal later today, 12 bears now facing off for Fat Bear Week, serving up steep competition for who will reign supremely stout.
Question. Are they really competing? Are they aware that all of this is going on? I would be curious to know that, because if they are, well then, they're just doing it for show. I actually, when I first heard about this, I was like, how exactly does that work? How are they getting these wild bears to get on scales? Well, okay. I'm tired. I'm still feeling the effects of the COVID booster / flu shot I got a couple of days ago. Doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, but be prepared. I don't know if it's because this new strain of COVID is very strong, or I don't know. I don't know why. But anyway, get your booster while you still can. All right. Ginger Rogers, cool name. Thank you so very much. Question: How could Harris have led a resistance post-November? Well, one, she could have showed up. That would have been awesome. She could have made people. What am I trying to say? She could have. I can't think of the word I'm looking for. See what I mean? COVID booster. She could have kept people motivated. She could have kept Democrats from getting demoralized. She could have made it clear to them that she is still the leader of the party and that she's not going anywhere. She could have showed up to work, basically, is what she could have done. So, I mean, there are many other things she could have done, but that's just off the top of my head. And I still can't think of the word I was looking for. Oh, well. But you get the gist. Cheryl is a new member. That's fantastic. thank you and welcome. And Catherine is also a new member. Thank you, Catherine. It's great to have you here. Violet Strummer, thank you so very much. Welcome back. Comment, absent all month fee. Even absent today as I have dogs walk, but I'm reading you on Substack. Thank you, Mary and team. Oh, thank you, Violet. That's great. Glad you're reading the Substack. Nanner, member for 4 months. Fabulous. Comment, news-free day so far. Yay, me. Also, hi. Yeah, news for I could use one of those. Is there such a thing? There must be. It's up to us, after all. Lynn, thank you very much, Lynn. Comment, if you're ever down and need some cheering up, these fun Star Trek parody songs make me laugh every time. Oh, that will be exciting. Star Trek parody songs. I like it. Cindy Bolt, super sticker. Thank you as always. Susan, thanks so much, Susan. Gifted 1 Merit Trip Medium membership. Fabulous. Douglas, thank you so much, Douglas. Comment. After watching clips of Donald's UN speech, I am truly ashamed to be an American. We really are in the Twilight Zone. Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't understand how any sentient being who's being honest can look at that and think, oh yeah, he's my guy. He's awesome. He's smart. He knows what he's talking about. Which again makes my point that he's not the problem anymore. It's people who actually think that he's not just okay, but great. Wonderful leader. Best thing that ever happened to the United States of America. I mean, I guess if you're a particular kind of white person, but for the rest of us, not so much. Susan, thank you so much, Susan. Comment, this is for giving thanks for a safe trip across the state and back. Cool. Glad you made it there and back. Lizzie Beth, thank you so much. Question, since Jimmy got another one today, Mary, do we think your uncle is calling down a plague of rodents on us? Yes. Yeah, I mean, he wishes us nothing but the worst. So, yeah. And remember, Donald, there's no such thing as worst. Things will always get worse. Donna, thank you so very much, as always. Much appreciated. Ghostlayer 59, thank you very much. That's fantastic. Oh, cool. Comment, this is a rant. Grinder allegedly flatlined again. Fee. Cause of death? CK's funeral in Arizona, plus a stampede of self-loathing MAGA-hated Twink servers didn't have a chance, yet they want to take our rights away. Oh, and hi, Mary. Hello. It's kind of fascinating. And I am embarrassed to admit, I don't actually know what Grindr is. I mean, I think I do. Oh, yeah. Okay. It all just clicked. Yep. That also happens anytime there's like a Republican convention. I'm sure it's just a coincidence. Ethan, thank you so much, Ethan. Gifted 5 Merit Media memberships. That is most excellent. Lady Di and V, a member for 3 months. Awesome. Comment. Thank you, Mary, for rationalizing the irrational. We, the sane people, salute and deeply appreciate you. Well, thank you. It's nice to have sane people on your side. It's nice to be sane. Not that Donald would know. Dorothy, thank you very, very much for that. Comment. Kudos to the escalator and teleprompter saboteurs. No kidding. I refuse to believe that was an accident. Either one of those things. And for those of you who aren't aware, that Donald's teleprompter didn't work at first. And he said, but that's okay. I don't need a teleprompter. It makes it easier to speak from your heart if you don't have a teleprompter. You know, like Sleepy Joe Biden needed a teleprompter. Donald doesn't need a teleprompter. Although he threatened the guy, whoever, he basically said that the person who was responsible for the teleprompter was going to be in a lot of trouble because he's so pathetic. And then guess what? He didn't say anything else because he needs a teleprompter. I mean, just saying. Stephanie, thank you so very much. Canada is in the house. Elbows up. Comment. Hi, Mary. Anyone needing an emotional support Canadian can connect with me. Also, best host mods and community fee. Oh, thank you, Stephanie. Yes, a Canadian emotional support. An emotional support Canadian. I like that. I'd say we could be American emotional support for Canadians, but no, we're hanging on by a thread. Sorry. Susan, thank you so much. Gifted 5 Mary Trump Media memberships. Wonderful. Debbie, member for 4 months. Excellent. Question. Hi, Mary. Have I missed the messages about the Bad Book Club? You have not. We will be in touch, I promise. There's been a lot going on, but we will be in touch. His Divine Scotto, thank you as always. Gifted 5 Mary Trump Media memberships. Fantastic. Lady Di, sorry, Lady, I always skip over the end. Lady Di, NB, gifted 1 Mary Trump Media membership. Thank you very much for that. In the middle of nowhere, thank you very much, as always. Comment, my brain is exploding yet again. Hey, you shouldn't have to pay a fee if your head's exploding. Right? Phoebe, thank you, Phoebe. Question, would you ever consider being a guest on Kimmel Invest? Sure. I think, yeah, yes, sure. I think Jimmy Kimmel seems like a good guy. I'm very curious to see what his first show is like, though. His first guest is Gavin Newsom. So that's going to be interesting. I'm hoping that means that no punches will be pulled. Loretta, question. Mary, are you familiar with Graham Plattner? I am not. But I think I will be if he's Googleable. Jesse is a new member. Thank you, Jesse, and welcome. Alan, also a new member. Thank you, Alan. Welcome to you as well. It's great to have you here. Mary, thank you very, very much for that comment. I'm speechless. Yeah, it's getting harder to be speechful these days. For kitty treats and 3 cat emojis. Yay. Phoebe, thanks very much, Phoebe. That's very kind of you. Comment, in Mass, ICE went to a home of a Hispanic family looking for the dad. He refused to come out, so they took their 5-year-old autistic daughter and held hostage until he came out. Yeah, the girl is traumatized. Despicable. Yeah, well, that's what happens when the worst person is in charge of everything, who hires other horrible people to be in charge and who hire weak, pathetic losers to have power over vulnerable people. Susan, thank you so much, as always, Susan. Comment, thank you, Marion and Mary Trump Media team. It's been a hell of a week, and it's only Tuesday. Yes, and again, that's because we don't get weekends anymore. Like, just think about this weekend, if you dare. Neely, wow, Neely, thank you so much. Gifted 10 Mary Trump Media memberships. That's really generous of you. Call me Little Sunshine, member for 3 months. Awesome. Comment, hi, Mary. Hope you're well. Sorry I'm late, Fee. I'm okay. And it's okay to be late sometimes. Stuff happens. Bornitian, sorry. First Tribes of England. Thank you so very much. Comment, every time I see Donald, I think of your grandma and the mashed potato story. Thank you. Well, thank you. I'm quite fond of that story, as you all know. All right, that does it for us. Thank you so much for watching on YouTube, streaming on Twitter, and our Substack, The Good in Us. Listening to the podcasts is what it's called. To all of our new members, everybody gifting memberships, all of our super stickers, and people giving us gifts, we seriously appreciate it. You guys keep us going, as do our most excellent moderators who have helped create this amazing community. If you guys want to find the easiest way to support us, if you've not done so already, please subscribe to our channel. We're literally like this close to 470,000 subscribers. And after you subscribe, click on the bell icon and choose all. That way you'll be alerted every time a new video drops. Otherwise, the YouTube algorithm will decide what you want to watch, and I think you should control that. Another really helpful way to support us is to watch our pre-recorded videos, because in addition to Mary Trump Live Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern and Ask Mary Anything, which is live on Sundays at 6 p.m. Eastern, we have at least 2 pre-recorded videos dropping every single day. Watch those, share them, like them, comment on them. That helps us tremendously. And that's it. We've got some new stuff coming up, which we will let you be knowing about in the not too distant future. In the meantime, I will see you all tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern for Mary Trump Live. And until then, please stay safe and be kind. Bye, guys.